Good morning, my beautiful babes and babettes. I'm your resident active advocate. I'm here today to talk to you about what I would call mixed friend groups. Now, yesterday I talked about the importance of not making friends for the sake of having that friend and that friend and that friend in your friend group for the sake of proving that you're not a bigot. If you make friends based on the virtue of the person in question rather than based on what they look like, you know, how their body works, then automatically you are not a bigot, at least in the sense of how you know how to make friends. Yay, you know, don't make friends for the sake of having that one disabled friend, of having that one black friend or whatever, that sort of thing. But the whole idea behind mixed friend groups, and here specifically, I'm talking about non disabled people making friends with people who have disabilities. The whole point of this is not for it to be a political statement nor a thought experiment. Friendship, in my eyes, is something that needs to be both natural and both sides are good for it and up for it. If you go into a relationship with the presupposition, say, on the side of the person with the disability, that this person probably isn't going to like me, and this is much more common amongst younger children who may be having self-esteem issues because they see a bunch of people around them whose bodies and minds and such don't operate in the same way as theirs. They may be feeling a bit left out or a bit unwanted or a bit, quote, different. If the person with the disability goes in with the presupposition that this person is not going to like me because my body, mind, and social skills work this way, then that isn't going to work. By the same token, if the person without the disability goes in with the mindset of this person's probably lonely and I'm doing them a favor and they just look like they need a friend, that's not going to work either. Neither of these mindsets show equality, you know. If the person without the disability goes in with the savior complex, that's not going to work because that is a sense of elevation over the person with the disability. I actually did have a friend like that in elementary school, and we got on fine. It was fine, but I honestly think that she had this idea of, oh, look at that poor girl, she must be so lonely. On the side of the person with the disability, how do you know? Did you ask? Have you spoken to me about what my internal experience is? Because my best friend to this day, and she and I don't even remember making friends, that's how long it's been. You know, she and I share a disability to some extent, but that's not why we made friends. We made friends through mutual communication, mutual trust, mutual benefit. Like, both of us have something to give the other. It's not that I have my sight to give her because she's completely blind. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that, not to toot my own horn, I'm a very empathetic person and I'm a very good listener. Okay? And on her end, she is so much smarter than I am, it's not even funny. It's ridiculous, actually. So, we both have something to offer the other, and she also has the same listening skills that I do. Communication is key. Please, 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 please communicate with the person that you're going into the friendship with. If you go in with the supposition of this person isn't going to like me because XYZ, or this person needs a friend because XYZ, it's not going to work out. And I'm not even talking about negative prejudices here. Like, this person must be so lonely and frightened, and they're never going to be able to make another friend like me because my heart is overflowing with empathy and they need someone like me in their life. Again, that isn't going to work. You have to go in with this supposition that this other person is whole and complete of themselves. This also applies to the notion of romance, by the way, but we're going to get to that later. This whole idea that Hollywood bashes into our brains of you are one half of a circle, the other person is the other half. Neither of you is complete without the other, so don't even try to be. That is bull. We are whole and complete creatures of ourselves and on our own. This applies to everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care whether you have a disability or not. You are whole and complete on your own. And this isn't in the sense of, I don't need no man. This is in the sense of, I am a human being. We're all human beings. We all exist of ourselves, of our own accord. We are all complete within ourselves. But we are also a social species. So the more we share with one another, the more we communicate with one another, the bigger our world gets. I advocate for making friends, not for the sake of thinking you could better their life or thinking that they could better your life through XYZ thing. I advocate making friends for the sake of diversifying your experience. Don't diversify for the sake of diversifying. Diversify for the sake of wanting to know more about, ABC, XYZ, and diversify for the sake of becoming a better and bigger person. I don't mean more complete, I mean bigger. There's stuff that we can all offer one another. I am not good at math. Say one of my friends is really good at math. I'm an arts, humanities, languages person. I don't logic a lot of the time. So my best friend's not good at math either, but she's much more logical than I am, for example. There's always this idea of mutual benefit, but don't base the mutual benefit on what you think the other person needs from you. Base the mutual benefit on communication and you find out what this other person is good at and, quote, good for, and what you are good at and, quote, good for, to give to one another. People with disabilities don't have to make friends just with other people with disabilities in order to, quote, fill in one's gaps. Like, let's say I had a friend who was hard of hearing, but I can hear on their behalf. That's not how bodies work. That's not how minds work. That's not how friendship works. Don't make friends with someone for, quote, filling in their gaps. Make friends for the sake of getting bigger together. Both of you getting bigger together. And that also applies to romances. But I think I'm going to save the topic of romance for tomorrow because I'm on a pretty good kick here, I feel. So that is the end of this topic, but I just wanted to also say, good morning, America. How are you? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. Really good Johnny Cash song. But if you live in the States, and of course, the election is going on right now, I don't care what side of the equation you're on, don't do anything stupid. If you see your candidate has lost, or even if your candidate has won, don't be a jerk to other people. For God's sake, don't pick up a weapon and do anything crazy. I mean, I've heard of people boarding up their windows because they're afraid of the results, regardless of who wins, regardless of who loses. Peacefully work out your differences, and I do mean, yes, you can yell at each other, but don't pick up a gun and blow off your neighbor's head. Ugh. I feel really dirty having to make that PSA, but people have gotten violent over politics many times before, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happened again. Just be good to each other. please, be supportive, be kind. I know that we're all kind of right now, myself included, and I'm not even in America. So be good, be nice, cooperate, put down the weapon, and, pick one another up instead. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow to talk about la romance. Fairly well. Mwah. Have a good day.